All right, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Let's get this show on the road. So, I'm jumping right in the map here to show you a couple things that I've been working on. We were away yesterday, and whenever I had a little bit of free time, I did some searching for some things with the links that you guys passed along to me. So, I've done a little bit of stuff on the map, not a lot, but I've done a lot of research and I've got a lot of things to go over and see what's gonna make the cut and what's not. So let's go down here. First thing you guys said, the silos in the aggravation map. I forget who it was, but yeah, that was a great idea. I love it. So I've made a few changes on this farm down here. And those silos are just awesome. For a big map, we need big silos, and we brought those in from the aggravation map, which look pretty cool. Nice, huge silo area. And another thing that I was working, oh yeah, we put the scale in as well, so you could come over here and weigh your vehicles if you wanted to. Scale kind of came with it. Also, moved some buildings around now. I liked that building in the aggravation map, this building here, and wanted to make it so that we could use it just as we do the other ones where it hides the vehicles. So I spent a little bit of time putting the doors from that one on so I have all the workings of the buildings where items disappear and hide off the map. Now, it is possible to park off to the side, but for the most part, if you pull a vehicle in and shut the gates on this building, now here's what's interesting. It'll tell you that the Chevy is in there on this side, and if you look in the window, it's not there anymore until you reopen the door. Now, and it comes back. So it is possible to park in between them or off to the side in those vehicles, but it will help with uh, frame rates and stuff. I mean, these barns are pretty huge, so you can get a lot of vehicles and stuff in. See, if I park the car off to the side and shut the door, it should be out of the trigger so it will stay in there. Yeah, you can see the truck up there. Doesn't disappear and it will say that it's empty in this slot. Now, one of the other interesting things about this is, and you guys will hopefully get used to it. Let me know if you think that this is going to be an issue, but I think we'll be okay. And I'm going to need a couple vehicles for this here to work. If I go and close the door on this side, my truck, actually I don't need a couple vehicles, but I'm going to grab another one anyway. We'll grab its brother, a black one to go with the white one. And drive that over here as well. Yeah, I like the shed. I wanted to have it so we can make vehicles disappear, so that it keeps the lag down. So I spent a little bit of time working with that. While we're driving over there, I'll give you some idea of some changes that I think. Right now, I'm working it out on paper, but there are things that'll be different when we get to the new map, and I've been kind of working it out. So my goal is to take this factory menu here. When we pull up the factories uh, list, it's very long, and I'd like to add more stuff to the map, But with a list that long, if you have a lower screen resolution, you're going to be going from top to bottom, and anything more than a couple, we some people might run into problems. So some of these are actually going to come out of the list, and I'll explain how this is going to work in a little bit of detail, as well as some of the other things that will be coming in. So, first thing is Cogent. Uh, Cogent is going to drop the board's production from Cogent because there is going to be enough of the scripts from the fabric script sawmills on the map that we won't need to produce boards at the Cogent factory. So we're going to drop boards. We're going to keep the resin on there and the paper, but we're going to drop boards, and we're going to work in the planks and the chipboard into the Cogent factory with the paper. They'll probably come off the same trigger. Thank you for the host there, Barry1949. Also, we got some new the chat box. If that looks good, if it's working for you guys, let me know. I put it up on the stream so the streamers can people can see it on YouTube. Been messing with the stream quite a bit. The little jar down there, if somebody follows or subscribes or donates, it should pop up in there in that little jar, little animations. I messed with all my animations and everything, so kind of cool stuff. But anyway, so we're going to move the planks and the chipboard. We're going to eliminate the furniture factory because furniture really had no other place to go anyway. So that's the first thing that I wanted to let you guys know. Cogent is going to be basically partly the furniture factory is going to move into there with the planks and the chipboard products. What I wanted to show you guys is if you come over here to this barn, which has a drive-through, and open this door, you will see the tire tracks from the truck we put there earlier, but it's not there because the doors are working independently. And that is not going to be an issue unless you decide to open them both at the same time. So if we close this side, we can see that there's a custom Chevy in there. And if we go around here and open this side, you'll see we get the white one back. Now, the only problem you guys would have is if somebody decided to come over here and open up this side while the other side's open, you're going to end up with it on top of the other truck, so, or whatever vehicles. So you do have space. It's almost like doubling your space and storing extra vehicles on. You just can't open up both sides at the same time, or you will have vehicles on top of each other. Now I can park here, and depending on what side I close, the triggers kind of overlap. So if I close this now, I can actually go around the other side and my white truck will be gone again. See that? It's just like magic. But there is a lot of space in between each of, I mean, these barns are big. You got a space over here, you could park equipment, and it will actually stay here all the time. It won't disappear. It has to be between the doors for it to disappear. Along with that, I had to redo all the light fixtures so that the lights match with the little things that were in here. So this barn is well lit up. You can see all the lights going all the way down. And they're kind of connected to the doors like they were before. So that's the new barn that's coming in, and we'll be using these throughout the map on the farms wherever we can, wherever it's needed. And the new silo system right over there. Some of the other things that, so we talked about Cogent. Second thing on the menu is we're looking at new fill types. Um, as I actually have a list here I'll refer to. Yeah, turn the page. I have found that there's cabbage, triticale, red cabbage, lettuce, hops, hemp. Well, we already have hemp and spelt and poppy. So with those, we'll definitely get the poppy back in here uh, and put that on the map. We're going to also look at. Here's the thing: we have lettuce in our greenhouses, uh, and we don't need lettuce on the fields, and we also have cabbage in our greenhouses. And I would like to make those plantable on the fields, and I'm hoping I can come up with some good solutions to bring basically turn the lettuce greenhouse back into a mushroom greenhouse. And I'd like to find peppers for a greenhouse and pull out the cabbage as well. And I am going to eliminate the hops and props factory and make it so we're growing hops separate from hemp. Um, we'll just grow two different things. That way we can go right to I mean, it's only a one deal product with hops and props. So therefore, we have Cogent out, um, increase the factory capacities. We'll look into that once we get into the testing, what we're going to set the factory capacities to there, Delta. So we're going to be removing Cogent because we need to make new factories for all the new products or mix them in. We'll go through a little bit more as I'm driving around here and let you know some of the other things that I found. And then we'll jump into map making. Uh, so Cogent's going to inherit the furniture factory. Furniture's going to be out. Hops and props is we're going to plant the hops and then you can deliver them directly to the brewery without going through the hops and props factory. So that will be out. I have plans to uh, bring in and change user glue to an adhesive type factory and maybe do duct tape or something or other and add it into the mix so we can get a couple more things on the user glue product line. So it'll be changing that factory around. So it's not just resin to glue, but we'll bring the resin over there, maybe paper and make tape or I don't know. We'll figure something out. Sticky notes. I don't know. But we're going to get some products through the user glue. So that factory will be expanded. Um, the next thing, fuel. Shelf fuel is going to be moved off of the menu as well, and it's going to be put into the fabric script. And the reason being is I know it's nice you could pull up your menu and see how much fuel you have, but the fuel is going to be integrated. So when you go down to the factory and dump products in, it automatically goes to all the farms. So therefore, we're going to be able to use the factory digital displays at each of the farms. So you'll be able to tell your fuel capacity and your product capacities right at the farms without having to, and anywhere the fuel is sold, without having to jump down to the factory to check it out. So Shell Fuel will free up some more space as well that will come out of that menu for additional factories. Let's see what else we have in our list of things that I am so tired tonight. Excuse me if I'm a little slow. All right, the dairy factory. Um, we're gonna pull the dairy factory. Gonna keep the dairy the way it is pretty much, but we're going to add in a third product at the dairy, and it right now. I'm just cruising around the map while I'm talking here. And I just tipped over my truck. Man, I guess I'm not cruising anymore. Let's get the other one. Uh, Right now, the dairy factory does the sour cream and cheese, and I'm probably gonna bring butter. That's what I'm leaning toward right now because there's much more use. I mean, you could do ice cream, you could do butter, you could just do cream. But it seems to me that butter would be a more versatile at different factories, the bakeries, and different things around the map. So, and we have space to add on to that one. So butter is probably going to be the third product over at the dairy. And right now, that is what I have listed for factory changes. But I'm looking at other factories that are kind of uh, redundant, or I mean, for instance, we have the flour factory. We drop off wheat, oat, and rye, which is great, and we make wheat flour, oat flour, rye flour. I really think I want to combine those and make you drop off the different products and just create one type of flour that can be used throughout the map, and then add new products to the that flour factory, maybe like dough or something that we bring the butter and the eggs, which eggs are going to be coming back if all works out well too. So we'll be able to move eggs around. So with that, if we change the flour factory to more of a couple new items rather than just three types of flour. Hey, KW, how you doing? And bring in like dough and flour and something else. We can add a third product. Then we can have another reason to bring eggs and butter up to the flour factory. So we'll be able to get a couple new products in on that one. And same goes for the sugar factory. We do have the ability to, right now it only outputs sugar. So it'd be more of a, I'd like to bring in possibly, well, it's going to remain a sugar factory, but maybe we can work in a couple other products. I have to think about it. How is molasses made? So yeah, we'll look into that. Um, Grapes may come in. I'm looking at that as well. So we'll get into doing checking out that product. So I'm hoping to get 4 or 5 different fruit types into the map and making space for them in the factories and mixing stuff up so that it just adds products, but not lag to your maps, basically. Cut down on some things. Fuel, the seed and fertilizer is going to be one plant as well, but it's going to work just like the gas. So when you come over to your thing, eventually there will be a digital display telling you how much fuel is in here and if any products that will be needed to be dropped off down at the main factory so that the fuel keeps pumping. With that, let's jump into. I just wanted to show you those couple things. We'll jump into the map, and I'll give you guys an idea of some of the things that I've been messing around with. There's lots still in a lot of the idea stage. So I copied out some things that I really liked from some other places, and I'm gonna jump in today, this first show, and start fixing up a couple things, and we're gonna be changing some things around. We'll go over that a little bit and show you pretty much exactly what we're doing. All right, this strip right here, as I looked at this farm, we need to bring a BGA to the backside because all of the farms are going to have their individual BGAs. Yeah, there will be sell points for silage. There's going to be storage on these farms. We'll show you a lot more of that stuff ideas that I found, and we're going to just discuss a little bit of the other stuff that I find interesting as I refresh my memory, all the cool things that were noted, that I noted in different places that I found. Number one is, well, number whatever. Uh, we need a barn over there, and this is an unused barn. There is a Lua script. I don't know if you guys knew this, but boy, I wish I had put it into the PV3 map, and maybe we'll do an update with it. But it actually makes it so that you can increase the number of allowed trees on. So you know how you guys always get that too many trees? I can set the number high enough so you could plant a lot sooner on the map, which would be kind of cool. So that is, I'm going to just drop this over here for now. We're going to mix it into, I got to put a house over here. Uh, the barn, the BGA still on this farm. So we're going to have lots of things bringing in. And I haven't even looked to see how the house is. I've been looking at some buildings. We'll see if we can get a house. I'm not sure what the ones look like. I haven't even looked at them in the map yet. So, but I've got some stuff. New factory buildings to help mix up the factories and all sorts of different things. Let's see. I was over here. There's a ground marker for. Is that the one for the barn right there? Yeah, I think it is. And there should be a trigger. Or did the trigger go with the barn? I can't remember. Straw barn. So we'll have the BGA over there as well. And we'll be doing quite a bit of modifications with the way things work so that we're freeing up some resources for lots more extra stuff in the map. Yeah, oh yeah, so we were talking about that Lewis script. We should be able to add that into this map so that once we get all our trees planted, you won't keep constantly getting that message, too many trees, cut some down first, because we put so many on the map that you'd have to cut quite a few. I mean, I don't know if I've been cutting trees on my single player. Got almost half the map cut on the other one, and I still can't plant trees. And we should be able to alleviate that issue by running that script in the background. I don't know if it'll take care of the money issue that people are having, where you just get free money as you're planting the trees. But hey, we'll see what happens. Did the trigger come with this barn? Yes, it does. All right, we're good to go there. Looking good. All right. So I might move that barn. The big thing is the greenhouses. We're going to be mixing them up a little bit eventually. But another thing that we're going to be doing, and let me see what I got in my folder here. Let's drop a couple things in at least to look at. Uh, da 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 da. They had the railway silo in the map, which is pretty cool in the aggravation map. So where we have some of our rail stations, especially the big one down that's going to be down here, we can have some pretty massive silos to go with it. For instance, let's bring it over. I'm just going to put them close by. Now that's the kind of silo we need for this size map right there. You know it. We want bigger. This is industry's version 2017 16x. So we'll position it up better when time comes, but we have railway silos, and actually there might even be multiple rows. We'll have different, how many bays? This is all the stuff I got to look at because we have goods. Uh, we have five different categories, I think, and we have one, two, three, four bays. So we might put two rows of silos by the time we're done because there'll be more products where you can fill and drop off. But that is some of the new silos. Let's see what else is in this little folder. We'll bring in different things. I'm going to drop them in the middle if I don't know if I'm going to use them. I have elevator 2, elevator 3. Where's elevator 1? I don't know. Let's see what we got. They elevator 2 and 3 kind of piece together. Oh, there's a water plane that rise. Yeah, you can. Water planes that rise and fall. Yep. We can do that. I'm sure. Hey, Badzilla, thank you for the host there. So I have to look back at the map to piece these together and find out. But these are just some of the buildings that we're definitely going to use somewhere. I'm just going to drop them in this lot until I get into uh, moving things around a little bit more. So we have, I can't remember how they were positioned in that other map, but they're pretty decent buildings. Obviously, you got silo, but this piece here, I think, was off of one of the ends somehow, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. I can't remember. It went something like that, but it was also not crooked. And this one is crooked as well. So we have some grain elevator buildings that will go along the railway. And I'm gonna just go through. We have, that's just a concrete wall, which is a nice wall. Probably use that someplace. Oh, elevator. There's the first part of it right there. Duh, I'm half blind and half asleep today. Man, am I tired. So I went out today. Friend of mine, other friend of mine, guy's brother, was out hunting this morning, and he ended up getting a really nice 10-point whitetail, and had to go down and check that out, and ended up driving down about a half hour away and entering into a contest, and it's currently in third place with another week to go. So yeah, there's another piece of silos that we can use over here. Some of this stuff may or may not stay, but I've got lots of room for stuff, and we'll be putting these pieces where we see fit. Then we have industry buildings 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, third place, 10-point, and the really nice big deer. Let's just drop this one over here. So these are all out of the aggravation map. And they're bigger buildings, and we need to get some new factory type looking things and larger stuff. So as we go around and redo some of the factories, we'll be dropping some of these new models in to make them look different. I mean, and larger scale stuff. That's a pretty cool piece right there. And the Industry 2 is another industry building. So I'm just going to bring these in and know what we have to work with. We got several, I saw several things that I like to work with, and I'm still looking for more. But that kind of goes with that building pretty well when we put them out there redoing factory stuff. And so let's see what industry building number 3. Once we get some of this stuff in and show you what we found, we'll start working on one of the area. Probably do more of the working up the areas when I do the second broadcast tonight. So I'm gonna be here till what are we 5 to 7, and then back. Oh, sometimes you just copy the wrong thing. That's a bakery, but it's just the wireframe. So I did something wrong when I imported that. We'll be back. We'll look for that one again. We have just, yeah, not quite what I was looking for. I grabbed the LOD, but not the whole thing. An open hall. So this is just going to be another barn type thing that will be open. We'll be scattering around fields and stuff. So when you're working out on the fields, this isn't going to have the doors like the other one, but it matches nicely. So probably over by the side of the house over there, we'll bring one of these in. Just when you're further away from the main farm, we'll have this open barn in there for parking stuff. So when I meet, so yeah, I'll give you an idea. We get to the other side of this hill, and you're kind of far away from your farm that's way up there. So somewhere down here, and maybe even, well, there's going to be a rail station, but we might put some of these buildings down further away so you have places to park. We'll drop this one over here for now. And it'll just be a kind of a drive-through shelter. But we'll have lots of places because the map's so big you're gonna not want to drive halfway across the map all the time. To bring your vehicles back, uh, the silos we got. There's a solar farm from that map. Again, tons of space on this map, so why not? We'll work it out in some area. Why not decorate it up with some cool things? And this solar farm is actually pretty darn cool. There it is over there. And there's a couple extra solar things, but when we get done, we'll have this. We'll move the panels around and everything, but you can see some pretty cool. I don't want to put it. I'm going to be working in this part of the field later, so we'll slide it that way for now. Somewhere along one of the roads, we'll have a nice solar farm with lots of solar panels, and maybe who knows what we'll do with it when time comes. Let's go to 25, 26. There you go. So that I thought was pretty wild. Nice solar panels. And It'll look pretty good somewhere in here. And I think there's only one more thing in this folder right here. So bringing in some of the models, see how everything runs once we got more models in this map. I'm gonna see what we've got. It says it's a warehouse. And is it a warehouse? Oh, I don't know if I'll, again, I just grabbed some things uh, that I thought were pretty decent. All right, it's got opening doors all the way down. A little different look to it. Could go on another farm. But we'll check it out when we get in game. We'll just park it here for now. And actually, I don't think I want to go through this one and replace all the doors, but it's a little bit low. Got dirt showing through the bottom. But to make the farms a little bit different, oh, who knows, maybe eventually I'll get in there and do some of the doors over so it hides the stuff inside. Let's see, there's no lights going across, so shouldn't be too bad. And it's only one side. Yeah, we might be able to convert it over like we did the other one. Get these doors replaced so that it hides the vehicles when we go in. So that's just some of the models that we have in the aggravation map. I'm going to grab another folder here and open my map, and I'm just going to put it in here for now. Is that, I can't remember which folder's which. Oh yeah, this one's going to be, so the models, drop this into here, and we'll take a look at what we found over here. This is some exciting stuff that needs to be tested. I'm definitely going to have there's a lot of script stuff in this folder. Let's see, I'm just going to find a clear area over here to work with for now. But definitely some things I want to use. Right here. So I got to check this out. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to look, but these are mountains for the outside edge, and let's put a couple in place and see. They're all over right now, and just kind of see if it blends. It should look pretty good with this style map. Um, they're basically for, and there's going to need to be lots of copies of these because there's a huge map. Either that or I'm going to have to enlarge them quite a bit. And we'll have to see if they get blurry or not. Basically, this is for blocking your view from the outside world and making it so you don't see off into outer space. Let's bring this up a little. So they would we can actually just got to make sure we're not running into the edge there. So we'll take a look at some of these hills and see how they're going to look when we go back in. See which ones we're going to work with. And we'll mix them up a little bit so it's kind of random as we go around. But we'll do a little section down this side and see what we have. It's basically with hills like this. I don't know if I did this part live last time, but you stick them off the side of your map. I'm trying to decide which way I want this one. And in order to make your map look random, you can, so when you start duplicating these, you just need to reposition them, spin it around another way, uh, sync them into each other in different angles and stuff, and you will have a pretty random look to. You could have two identical pieces in different places, and it won't look like it's repetitive, depending on how you place it. So we'll bring over another one. I don't know if I like the grass on. Yeah, we'll decide all that later. But it might be need to see how that one has grass on it. It might look okay when we get in there, but we'll decide that when we get a little further. There's grass on some of these, and then there aren't on others, and the there's 5 different pieces, so we should be able to mix it up pretty good to get a pretty cool look just by. Oh, this is a nice big one. Whoops, wrong axis. So literally, as we look at this piece here, and we're near the corner, it's just finding a way to position the mountain so that it. You got to watch your seams and stuff. You got to hide the seams in between. So this is very low compared to the other one. I don't know if that's gonna work like that. We'll have to find a place to put it. Let's spin it this way. Whoops, this one. And it doesn't necessarily have to be right up to the edge either, because you won't be able to see up too close. It's just really the distance view of the mountain. So like the little gaps that are along here aren't really viewable from out here when you're in the map. If you were taking a plane ride, I suppose they would be. But this would be seeable, and you don't want to see stuff like that. So hiding these edges is going to be the trick when it comes down to it. But we have, so you might have to just work them around a little bit. And I don't know if find out different ones where to put them. That one isn't really doing anything anymore over there, so it can go somewhere else. That other one is so huge. We'll leave that. You can also change the size of them, scale them up to a certain amount, like double the size of this. Now, some of the textures may get washed out when you uh, enlarge them, but it is distance terrain, so you don't have to be perfect with it. It doesn't. It can be a little bit blurred out from the distance. So that one, it's just weird the way the ends are in this piece. To I could drop another piece over the top of that eventually, but we'll leave that there for now. I want to see what the other two look like as we're going around through here and see if we can position them a little bit differently. I think we can rotate this just a little bit in now. A little bit more. That way you're not, if you're flying a plane, you won't, oh, we're in the sand pit over here, which isn't a problem, but we don't want people to be able to drive up these monstrous things and off the map. So we'd have to put in a wall there. Yeah, they're odd shaped, kind of. Sometimes you just can't get them exactly where you want, but that'll work. I've got a couple more to check out. Ease camps. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. PV17 there. Yeah. Hope it's keeping you busy and giving you a lot to do. And we're going to be working on this one. And if that doesn't keep everybody busy, this one's definitely going to be with 4 times the size of that thing. And it's going to keep me busy making it, that's for sure. Yeah, during the actual last couple days, I did have a little bit of time, thought about broadcasting, but it was broken up, an hour here, an hour there, and whenever I did, I just decided to use that time to look up, look for some things that we can use in this map, and we definitely need the borders. So we'll be working these around the map as time goes by. We'll get the last couple over here, and then we'll take a look at it and see what we think when we're in there, if it fits. Can we add some of the buildings? You mean add buildings to the placeables? Like make new ones that are placeable? Um, there's a lot out there. Uh, if I find something that we want to support, then we might do so. I know we used to do a lot, but my biggest thing that I really actually love about FS17 is not having to rely on too many additional mods. With, I mean, we used to have so many required mods that it drove people crazy and they couldn't run the map. And technically, you could run this map with any of our mods. You just wouldn't be able to move products around. That's going to be an interesting edge to work on. So it depends on which ones you're talking about there, Delta. What you had in mind for placeables? You want newly created placeables? If I started creating placeables, it's going to be a long time because this map has enough work for it to do. But if I need something, that then we'll have to take a break and work on a couple placeable objects. Greenhouse type things would be a possibility. Um, but we're going to have most of the stuff placed in there. Like the storage halls and stuff you place. There's so many things on this map that I don't think I'd be doing. We might make some smaller buildings, but we shall see. So, yeah, you just kind of work some of these pieces, mess around with them until you find a good place where they overlap and hide that. See, that's a big edge, but you can overlap them quite a bit if you need to. And just try to hide the sharp edge. I don't know if we'll be able to hide that one from this side. You can also take it and rotate it a little bit. It's mountain. Who's going to know that it is crooked when they're all pieced together? This one's definitely too close, too high. But I think they'll work pretty good with the style of this map, the rocky style that it's going to be. when we get done. We got to lower that down quite a bit to get that side in. So you can see we have this funky edge right here that will be sticking out if we don't try to get it down below the surface. Now, someone was asking the other day on, can you make a tunnel? And pretty much you can by utilizing, that might be low enough that we can't see it now when we're down here. Yeah, you won't see that. Pretty much to make a tunnel on the map, you can't put a terrain piece, but you can take a piece like this, and I might just put another piece over the top of that later. It's good enough for now. I'm not going to spend all day on this until later, but I can take a piece like this, and I probably will use one of these pieces eventually. We'll go over to our magnificent mountain over here. I'm going to change the texture on some of these pieces to the cold texture, but in order to make a tunnel, it's pretty much digging it out and using a cover, such as this big piece of massive rock, which we don't need to have that big for where I'm putting it. That just kind of gives you an idea of how huge that piece actually is. But you would blend it into, yeah, this is way too big. You would blend it into the surrounding terrain and cover up the area with pieces or boulders or something like so. And then you just need to fix the front lip with boxing it in with other pieces and stuff. But, and this one's probably not going to stay here, but I'm just giving you kind of an idea. Then you just got to work around the area, and you'll notice that you could see through it from the inside. So if you use a piece like this, you got to flip one upside down first, so you have the inside of the tunnel, and then flip one the other way, and then you'll have a roof. But I've got boulders that I'm going to use for doing that. So can you add the hangers from the farm placeable tab so you can buy more? Hangers. Uh, we'll look into buildings to add, definitely. There's going to be quite a few on here, but yeah, down the road we'll see if we can bring in some more hangers and stuff, but not for quite a bit of time unless somebody wants to work on a side project to do some things for when the map comes out, work on some placeable items. So check the, yeah, as you're driving around, we'll notice you don't have to look off and stare out in the distance. You actually have some mountains, and that's almost a quarter of the way around the map with just those few pieces, which is what I need on this, so we don't have a ton of extra objects, but it definitely needs a pretty good border. So that was just piece one out of this folder. Let's go back and see what else we've got to play with that I've taken out. Da da da. We have uh chickens. New chickens. They are going to get us eggs and stuff. We'll move them down toward the poultry farm and find a place to put them. It's a whole chicken breeding process. So it is, I don't even know where it went. Over here. We'll just make it fly. We'll rearrange it and stuff to our map, but yeah, you have a whole chicken breeding section that actually it doesn't look too bad. Eggs, chickens. Let's rotate it that direction. And we'll set it over here for now. Because the chicken farm needs to have something other than those silly little eggs that we collect. And it will. Because we need to supply the pizza shops and stuff with. I'm not saying this is going to go where it's going, but I'm going to put it close to the farm. I think going to putting it across the street, right across the street over here, actually. So we'll put it there for now. Uh, yep, the gate's up toward the front. And try to get it to a place. Whoops. 12.9. That's pretty close. We'll just take a look at it after. Um, See what we can do with it. A little close to the road. Where's my thingamabobber? I want to back it up just a little bit. But I do kind of like that. So there'll be chickens over here on this here farm. And the thing with the chicken farm, it is uh let me see where I can find it. The gameplay section. I haven't used this yet, but it runs on the M factory script, I believe this does. So I'm going to need to install that script in order for some of these pieces to work. Let me see if that's the script that this one's working on. And hey, Amaki, how's it going? It's going good here. Uh, Gates, lights, packing station. Let's see if I can find out exactly where the index is, where the script is fired off on this thing. Animated objects on create. That's all right. So we got to make sure we have the animated objects XML in there for those to work. That's no big deal. Uh, let's see what else we have here. We'll have to add them to my animated objects list. All the that stuff that a lot of fun, but I probably won't do live on the stream. I got to go into find the way it was set up on the last map. All right, so and I got to move the HUD file for that, and it's M Company Factory script is what it's running. So we'll need to install the M Company Factory script to actually get the whole chicken operation working, and we'll get that done at some point. Let's see what else we got in here. We're going to be using, and I got to make sure that that all works with the current factory. It shouldn't be a problem. Uh, there's, what is chickens too? Let me see. And I'm not saying all this stuff's going to be used, but we're going to give them a try and see what we can get to work. And then go from there. We've got lots of room, so we've got more chicken stuff. Is that it? Oh, triggers. Yeah, we'll need to have that pieced together at some point. Triggers and troughs. So that will go. Yep, I just off clicked it. That will go where it's supposed to go when we get there. I gotta figure out where it's supposed to go again. I literally just went through and said, "Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good." I still was looking for some really nice power lines. I wish we could have got the ones out of the gold or the platinum edition. Those power lines in that new map were really awesome. That's what I really was looking for. I couldn't find some. I hate to put the really small ones. I like the big utility poles. We're gonna just put that over there for now and continue down through and see what else we have in this section. There's a circus. Uh, I like the design. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I really don't even know if I'm gonna use it. But I do that all the time. I save things. We have an elephant. We can do something with peanuts at the circus. Uh, you never know. So I brought it in and we'll stick it over here somewhere until further notice and we'll see if we can use our circus at some point somewhere on the map as, you know, just an added feature. It could be just a sell point for peanuts, uh, or some and some other stuff. But it was kind of cool looking the way they had it, and we can move the carts and stuff around. But I did like the circus tent with the cars around it and Mr. Elephant hanging out over there. So we might utilize that somewhere and open up a little circus sell point or something. There are there's a donkey farm. Um, I'm not exactly sure what it does yet, but we're gonna check it out at some point. I know one thing, when I fire up this map after and just look at these things until I get the scripts all set, we're gonna have errors up the way. Hope it runs. So, donkeys? Yeah. I was looking for other animals, and if there's gonna be donkeys, they're gonna be part of the farm here with the cows, but somewhere down further away. And let's see what we've got. Donkeys. And I actually wasn't even sure what the heck. I gotta test this stuff out. Why there's gold nuggets at our donkey farm, I have no idea. So I gotta figure out exactly just what the heck this does. They were underground for some reason. Yeah, don't know what it is. It'll come. It's a donkey pasture. But there are splines for several of these. There's geese. There's egg incubators for raising your chickens. Let's see what comes in with the geese. That would be over with the birds. Let's see what the geese look like. Yeah, there's a whole, yep, running the M Company factory script. So geese, actually, I don't even have the fill types for several of these installed. So that will be coming down the road as well. Uh, a little geese area. And I'm just dropping them in. We can reconfigure fences and boundaries and splines and everything later. But that'll eventually have a goose farm somewhere. And anything else? The egg incubators, I'll leave those. Milk storage. You guys always wanted to have milk storage. We're going to have excess milk storage on the map, and it's pretty much just going to look like. I'm question for everybody out there. I'm doing very well, Funky Rude Dude. How you doing? Here's your question. Milk storage. Should we store it up at the farm where the cows are, or should we store it on site at the dairy? I think at the cow farm, we just, which is up here, right? Am I on the right side of the map? Oh no, it's back there. I passed it. Cows. I think we work into our, where's our cow pasture? Right there. I think maybe along the side of our field somewhere we drop our tank where you can offload and just put milk into a storage facility. There's a, get a little closer, I'll know what side the spout is on. There's the shut off valve. Yep, that's, looks like the side we want out. And it's not exactly gonna stay here, but I'm gonna put it here for now so I know where it is. So we have milk storage tank and the triggers for storing milk. So you'll have some milk storage. I might even put it up by the barn over on the other side. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We could line up a few different ones all the way down the side of here. We'll see what, we'll work it out when we get there. Let's see. I think it's supposed to go like so. And you'll be able to pull up to the tank and load in milk and take milk back out. That's the plan. As well as there's ponies, there's breeding of sheep, there's a slurry separator. I'm not going to bring them all in right now. Uh, there's the splines for all the animal types so that when we build these up, we'll actually have moving animals running around on their little splines. The trash pickup was kind of a cool thing. I don't know if you guys seen this. It was in the Maverick map, I think, but it actually trash bags spawn around the farms or the houses in this areas, and you pick up trash. Uh, we're gonna hang on to that and keep it just in case, and then we're gonna have a place to store water on each of the farms too, so that need water right over by the greenhouses. So if you want to load up extra water, here we'll bring this one over. By greenhouses, orchards, any farm that they all have them, so we're gonna have a little place where you can actually store excess water uh, after you get it. And we're gonna be building up this whole area eventually into more of this farm because there's so many elements to these farms. But it's a water storage pit that will go into the ground like so. And then we'll dig out the center when we put it where it's finally going to be, and you'll be able to See the water plane is right below it. It'll raise up as you fill it up. So there's going to be a water storage on the farms as well. And I think with that, so those are some of the things there that I want to implement. I've got, believe it or not, oh, that was I forget where most of that stuff came from because this is some more stuff. Now, all right, we're gonna redo the orchards. Um, Not that I don't love the orchards that are in the map, but there's a couple of reasons why. Uh, First thing is I'm gonna have to add fill planes into the tippers. Where it's the pallet issue, hauling pallets around. So I did grab the orchards off the Maverick map here to they're gonna replace it's all the same types, but they're actually run on the fabric script, and this one is apple. I don't remember which farm has apple. That's not apple. Apple is on one of the farms. And that way we won't have the pallets running around. Number one, that's not apple. We'll check all the farms till we find apples. So these will run pretty much out of the box, except for I need to get the additional oranges. And so apples are, of course, on the last one I check. Yeah, they could output trash as a byproduct. Yep, they could do that. Oh, you want to know some other news? In the news, I love the design of these, but we're going to be messing with so much palette stuff. Is this the apples in front? Yeah, I think so. These are the cherries back here. We're going to be messing with so much palettes and stuff on the map, and this size map. It's not only a resource issue, but time consumption issue for when you're playing. And so basically, we're going to be bringing in these new models because they're ready, done, and here I'm going to just do one for now. Show you, give you an idea of the difference side by side on how they look compared to each other. And just the minor differences, but the biggest difference is no palette collector to fumble with. Uh, we're gonna, I don't even know if this takes pallets yet. I have to check it out. We're gonna mess with it a little bit, mess around. I have to see what different products it takes. I don't think it takes pallets. Let's move this one out of here for now. I'm pretty sure we're gonna replace them because I really do want to get silos, and I like the way that more products stack up on this mod as well. I mean, yeah, we could edit the other ones, but when you're working on a map of this huge size, I try to save as much work as possible on redoing things so we can just keep on going. Can we put compost in the farm silos? I'll think about it. We'll have compost. I haven't even decided where we're going to be making compost yet. There's so many products that I haven't even decided what we're going to do. So it's not a huge difference, but it is. Whoops, I just misclicked there. It's well done, and it will allow us to fill it directly into tippers rather than moving pallets all around to the factories, which means that all the factories that take the fruit need uh, different triggers. Also, it means I don't need to have. We're gonna try to get piles in our warehouse, and I don't have to do a million blocks, yeah, of things. And these look pretty good, actually. I thought they looked pretty decent. We'll take a closer look at it when we get in game. There we go. I don't even know if the map's going to run until I hook up all the scripts, but we'll try it. I've got to bring in some textures. I can't load resource. I have to, a couple textures missing there. And we will change the signage at some point. We'll put our, actually, yeah, we'll move our sign over. But there's display board. So it takes water. You can load apples. There will be seed pallets that I need to relink, and manure and compost. So those things will go into your orchard, and it's a little bit thinner, but it will. Maybe we could have both kinds. No, we'll. I'll have to think about it. I think that I like it. Uh, whoops, wrong node there. I'm moving lights for down the road, so we don't have with double. We doubled all the number of orchards on the map compared to PV3, and if all of them are pumping out pallets, you'll instantly have dozens of pallets on the map, and it could start to cause lag issues on this 16x. That was my main concern. That, and you're going to be driving these things greater distances, so working with just filling up tippers like we used to might, I think, is going to be the better option. I'm just going to line it up a little bit. All right, so orchards. And one of the cool things is the silo is the same color for whatever ones you get replaced. So apples are red. Cherries are a little darker, I think. I think that that was. Oh, and there's a vineyard. And what is the train station? Let me see. Let's see what I can't even remember all this. Um, but yeah, we've got a train station type thingamabobber that needs to come in somewhere or might come in somewhere. Let's see what it looks like. We'll just bring it up above the ground over here and see. Why did I like it so much? I don't know. Oh, another one that I obviously did not get in here right. It looks cool. We'll go back and find it. What did I do? Is it no visibility's on? Yeah, didn't quite come in. We're missing a building shader. That's what it is. So that one's not going to come in yet. I got to find the building shader and load it in. That's probably the same thing with that last one, but it's really a cool building when we get it. Uh, the vineyards. So vineyards where they make wine. We're gonna change it around so you got grapes and stuff, and yeah, if it all works, we're gonna do something with that as well, and do some wine making. Why not? We have every other type of alcohol in here, and it's a fabric script vineyard, so we should be able to get this to work somewhere in the map when we find a home. And this is the basic setup for our vineyard. I'll give you a look at it. Again, we'll reposition things and make them a little different, but all the pieces are there for the working vineyard, including some crazy finds and a wine house. Oh no, honey, all natural honey. Hey, we can make it into a honey storage. We have our own honey making on the map. So we'll work that in somewhere, some vineyards to do some grape work. I think that is going to be it for that one. Let's see what we got in this folder. I'm just importing everything into the map to see what we're going to work with as we build this thing. See if we can find more stuff. Now, this should do it. We got a lot of work to do, but I wanted to get some more objects. Uh-oh. I didn't get any files in there, so I guess that one didn't do anything. What did I do there? We've got textures, but no 3D files. So let's get that folder out of there for now. I know where that came from. Actually, I opened one up outside. Let's check this house out. I've got a house i3D that I found on Mod Hoster, and I want to see if we can make it work on the farm over there. I'm not sure. I only looking at going by the picture of it, and I need some houses, one for each farm, and we only have one so far. So somewhere around up here, we're gonna have a house. So we'll just drop it over here and see if we can work with it. If that file came out okay. And I'm still looking. I really do like the house that's in the other map. Now this is awful small looking when you're in this big huge map. Uh, but it's pretty interesting when we, oh wait, rotate 180. It's got a couple bays underneath it, a stairway that goes up the back, and get a better idea. I like it, but I don't know if I might change it up a little, the textures up a little bit. We can build this into a landscape around the outside of it too. Bring up the land like out here and have it so it's multi-level, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just looking for different, and that's like one of the better places that I've seen that we can do. But we'll find some houses. Might even be able to scale that up. Let me see what it looks like when it's scaled up. And then we'll jump in and check it out. It needs to be bigger. Not necessarily taller, but definitely think we can Let's check it out. I'm gonna just now it looks a little bit. The doors. We better go a little bit tall. I want to see what we can do. Make it a little bit bigger. So it's a. But I'm just gonna go in and if the map doesn't crash because I added all this stuff and I'm not running the scripts yet, uh, we'll see what some of these things look like that we placed around the map and see if there's anything that we definitely don't want to use. And then we'll come back later on and we're just going to start doing fields and stuff. One of the cool things, I've been messing with the stream a little bit today. I hope you guys can read the chat box down there. I hope you like that. If you got any comments or if things are confusing, just let me know and we'll change, we can always change things up. But I wanted to, what was I going to do? Crap, can't remember. Oh, I was just messing with all these crazy stream settings and stuff that they have. And one of the things we have is a, here, I'm going to fire it off here and give you guys an idea. It's for when I don't know what I want to do next and I can't decide. I can do this. And it says we're going to work on roads. Yay. So, isn't that nice? I'm just playing with my toys. That's a pretty cool little doohickey that I found. It's on the Streamlabs. It's a spin wheel. Set up your sections and looks like we're going to end up doing roads next. Uh, but not quite yet. I need to work on road segments, but I need to work on field segments. I need to work on a lot of things. I've just been so tired today. Been a busy day that today, you remember those days where I said you just don't know what's going to happen and that's why sometimes you got to be in the mood when you broadcast. And yeah, today is one of those days that normally I probably, because I was so tired when I got back, I actually laid down for a half hour, set my alarm so I make sure I woke up again. I was up at like 4 o'clock this morning, and yeah, it probably would have been one of those days where I normally would have canceled, but because you guys have been so awesome and everything, gonna push through those days and try to be as pleasant as I possibly can be, uh, and bring you guys some content here and get this map as far as we can before I go on that trip. So bear with me. We'll do a couple shows and hopefully I won't fall asleep in between this episode and the next one tonight, uh, because it could happen. You ever have those? I mean, I literally was exhausted. I don't know why. So I just ran around. I'm going to be helping carve up another deer tomorrow. And we ended up driving it back up here, but then going down and entering it, which is about 45 minutes away, entering it into the local contest for the area at the lodge, hunting lodge down there, because it was pretty nice deer. And it currently sits in third place, the 10 point, with pretty decent score. There's three other 10s and a 12 point in that contest, and the 12 points in first place, but his rack is wider. It's a nice rack. I wish I should have put my picture on the stream. I could have showed you guys. It's a nice. So yeah, sitting in third place. I don't know what the place prize is. I know what first and second is. I think it's a gift card. I know it's a gift card, but I don't know for what and how much. Probably a field and stream type place. I just know the basics. The first one is a mount. Get the head mount for free, and it's a $700 value. Second place is a new gun, but I'm not sure what gun it was. And third is a gift certificate for somewhere. We just found out about the contest and said, yeah, you should go down and enter it. Okay, heading back. So that deer was shot in PA. Hey, Big Daddy. Shot over on the Pennsylvania side of that town where I don't have a license for PA. They do because they have used to live there. So that's why I didn't go. Although I'm going to be going Saturday morning. I'm going hunting. We'll see what happens. How's Big Daddy doing tonight? Hope all is well with you. You ready to be put to work? Because I got work to do. Oh, lots and lots of map to do. But a lot of it I'm going to be doing off stream. Well, some of it because it's just going to be uh I don't know. It's tedious and I have to stop and think and I'm tired tonight. Maybe we're going to get into some of the more complex things when I am full of energy because otherwise you're going to be sitting here watching me stare at a screen and it'll look like this. Let's see. What am I going to do with that? Yeah, because I can't think right now. So it's one of those things. It depends on what I'm doing, if in the mood I'm in, and how wide awake I am to tackle the big, uh, more difficult things like hooking up all the scripts and working out all those errors on all the new stuff. We'll do that, or I'll do some of it offline, and then show you. Sometimes it's easier that way. Refresh my memory because I haven't even worked with the M Factory script, so we gotta test that out and see what we can do with that. But I can't do too much of the fields on this side until I know where my pony farm's gonna be, or my donkey farm, or all those extra animals and I haven't even tried them. All I know is that they do something. They might be decorative. I didn't have time to get that far in the last day. So it needs more research. Ceramic tile, wash sand, crushed stone. Here, hey, all right. Ceramic tile. I'm writing some of these down so I can think about them as I'm going. Tile, washed sand, crushed stone. Well, we do kind of have loose stone and we have the boulders, so it kind of is crushed. Clay, we have concrete. I thought about the clay, uh, and we have iron ore already. So that iron ore is in for glaze. Would it be possible to do the roads around the farms and around the towns, but let people make the roads between the farm and town with the ground modification mod? Big Daddy, jump into the stream sometime and even let me know what that that map modification mod does. I haven't used it, haven't tested it. I didn't even know such a mod existed. Uh, so we need to give it a whirl and see if I think it's going to be feasible. We can definitely leave that around the fields and just leave our main roads in. I mean, ones like here, we'll have to see. It's one of those things that we can set areas where they can just mess with big grass field and let them go at it and create their own sections. But that would be awesome. Just mark it as a piece of property that they can buy, and then pretty much I only have to do this. Put some grass in and let them modify it. Yeah, I want to try that out. Making bridges placeable is tricky when you have different, I mean, yeah, you can make some, but it's tricky when you have different shorelines. I mean, the river, different spans to go across, different heights on different sides. But I'm sure that we could come up with a model that we can add some placeable bridges. We're going to keep the ones that are in here, but yeah, I get what you're saying for crossing in between certain areas. We'll definitely be able to bring some placeable we might be able to work some placeable bridges. Even if you do the roads, if you had that, it would let players make their own roads to areas you didn't go. Yep, exactly. I will I got to test that out. I haven't used it. How well does it work? Does it do things easy? Uh Ground modification mod? I don't even know what it is. So, we'll give that a whirl this weekend. I'm making a note. Big Daddy, drop it into in progress, and so I can test it out. So I don't have to go download it. Drop it in the in progress folder, and I can get to take a look at it and mess with it and see if it's something I think we can use. Right now, oh, one of the other things that I didn't even show you guys, but I will because I'm just that kind of guy. I like to show you things. Uh, is and I think I did I leave a test area? All right, the ground is changed just a little bit. I thought I had a test area here. Oh, and I this was definitely way too far out over here with the stone. Um, Also, I found a value that was wrong on the terrain. So the edges are a little bit easier to make now because I upped the, yeah, it was just had to be scaled up. But what I wanted to show you guys is even though it doesn't look much different, it's slightly different, the undercolor of the grass than it was the other day. And I have brought in, which I think is going to look much better for this map, and definitely different. Uh, no, not wheat. It's changed the wrong grass value. Let's try that one. Yeah, I'm going to go with this for now. We'll take a look at it. I haven't even looked at it in game, but we'll do a little section here before we make decisions later on. I'm not going to paint much, but we'll get enough to get an idea of what the look of this grass style will look like, which is actually from the Sosnovka map, but I didn't want the bright green grass. This one's a little bit toned down compared to the other one. So when we start drawing in grass, I'm just going to do a little bit more here. Just so we can see what it looks like when we're in game as we go through. and I want it to look completely different than the last map. So we'll do a little bit of that. Let's jump in and drive around for the next few minutes. And actually, we're going to be end up getting closer to the road here. Also, I got to do a test at some point and make sure because sometimes I mess in between maps. I really need to start writing stuff down a little bit more. Uh, the bit sets, if you guys are familiar with some of the maps, one of these bit sets, I think it's just 8, which I'm using when I expanded to plant grass. But we once used the bit that looked exactly the same, but it was not mowable. And we got to make sure that I have it right this time. And I really need to start making, once I figure these things out, have a cheat sheet so I don't forget in between maps what, uh, yeah, what the bits are. Did I die? Oh, ground modification is single player. That is what I thought. All the fun mods are single player. I'm gonna save this right now. Apparently I didn't die. Someone said rest in peace. I don't know. Can field markers overlap? They can. Uh, Wondering why you're asking there, Mr. Daddy-O. You can overlap them a little bit. You do it when you mark some fields. You got to mark them with double boxes, and you overlap just a little bit. I don't know what your purpose would be to do it, but and then Air 9 Man wants to know where I got this 16x map. Jeff's in the channel.
Howdy.
Can you hear me? Oh, hey, I didn't even have my push. Yeah, I got push to talk. I didn't know anybody'd come and join me. How you doing?
Good, man. How you been?
Doing good.
All right. I have a. Well, my first crazy thought was letting people be creative and doing their own roads, but that got shut down by the single player thing.
Yep.
The reason I ask about the field markers overlapping, I have another crazy idea. These are the things we talk about all the time. Is having everybody start on one farm. Now, if you had, say, for instance, a field marker like labeled 1A. I don't know if you can do like a 1A, but my thought was if you could cover the whole other farms, like say you have 5 farms, whatever it may be, and you only have the middle one open with equipment from all the farms is fine. But the point is people wouldn't if you could cover that whole area with a field marker, that means you'd have to purchase it, if it could overlap the rest of them. So for instance, like a blanket field marker that they'd have to purchase to do any field work on their farm, after they make enough money working in, say, the middle field. Just an idea.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't think it could work. I
All right,
haven't
gotcha.
tested it, but I think if you purchase one, then oh, you know what it's going to do? It's going to have crops overlaying because the way the field markers are now, you draw them in and it automatically puts the starter crop, so it wouldn't be able to be done, or you'd have 2 crops on the field.
Okay, so the field marker, what if you put the field markers below ground, but left the buy feature above so that we wouldn't see the crops at all? But
Uh,
that way you
it
could.
won't. It doesn't work. I don't know. I guess you could make it so. I'd have to do a lot of experimenting to check that.
You hear what I'm saying? It would almost be like if it's a co-op map, everybody would start in a middle farm together. They could grab the equipment from the farms, no doubt. You could still work them. But my thought was if you had like a blanket one over each individual farm besides one, then you could save your money, go work the other, save enough money, then go buy your farm and you go to that little area, say, I don't know, cost whatever, just figure out the amount. But then that would unlock it so they could actually work it then. Each little field would be individual. That's why I was asking if it could overlap, all of them per se.
Right. Yeah, the AI, once you mark a field, automatically draws the plants in, and if you put a marker underground, it's just gonna give it the vertical uh, mark, above it is where it's gonna put the corner. So,
Okay. That's
so that won't work. But I could tell you this: um, one of the maps I have has uses the M factory script for buyable objects, and I have to experiment with it to see exactly what he's doing. But it's almost like access is shut off to certain things until you buy it, and you might be able to fence in areas or the other farms block off your sheds and stuff and make you have to purchase them on the farm with I have to do some more experimenting and see how this M factory script works. Seems to have a lot more things that you can do with it.
Cool. Yeah, it's just an idea. Like I said, we always had that thing that I thought would be neat if we all started out one farm and earned enough income to go buy your own farm. That's why I was trying to think about if you overlapped the field markers, then that way they couldn't work it until they bought it. But it was just a thought.
Yeah, I won't be able to overlap field markers, but we might be able to. Those are the things that I just can't think of tonight. I'm so tired.
Oh, no worries, man. I just wanted to. It's easier to come in and describe than if I typed it out. Forget about it.
Yeah, we'll look into. It's still in lots of idea stage, and 90% of them get thrown on the floor and don't get used. But we'll see what ends up coming through.
Oh, I got you, man.
Hey,
All right.
while I
Sure.
got you here, I don't know if you want to tackle a couple projects that in your spare time, but a couple things that I really want to try to work on is number one is the train splines. You know how they're in this map? I don't
Sure.
care what map you want to do it on, but if we can get like a boat and use the train spline. It's basically just like you changed the engine already on this, but can we get a boat model to run? We don't need to have wheels or anything because it's just going to skim across the water. But I'd love to have well, ideally it'd be a tugboat with a couple barges behind it uh, for this big river system. So we're traveling on it like we do the trains, but we'll be on a spline and we just drive the boats up and down it. That way I know with the trains you can go underground, above ground, it'll stay on whatever level. So we won't get the water problems. We won't get the boat tipping over problems. It'll work just like the trains, but on water.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You just have to, I think, replace the i3D file with whatever we want to make. If we, I can't, obviously model a boat, but if I could find a decent one, we could I just replace the train i3D that is pointing to with a path and update it with the boat that we get. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just might have running in. There's the i3D is one part, but there's the XML that goes with it that runs the wheels and all the other parts, the engine speed and stuff. So you're better at that stuff than me. Just one of those tests because that would be super cool to have. I can put a spline in the water and the boat will ride on the spline at whatever level I put it. And we might even be able to get, like I said, if we can link a couple carts together, make them at least look like it, and get a flatbed for hauling equipment up and down. Yeah, I'm looking at the buildings a little bit closer because I like them. I'm just checking out how they look in the map here. I'm responding to. So that's project one that I really would like to see happen in this map. One of the many.
Sure.
What other ones did I have? That was a big one.
That's all right. I'll let you stream and I'll hop back on and when you're done. That's not a biggie. So that way you can get to it. I don't want to.
Yeah, we're gonna. Oh, the other one was that plane mod. I don't know if anything can be done with that thing, but it's at the point that if I'm gonna put airports in for those planes, uh, I've got the plane. It noses down like a helicopter, something fierce, and it makes it worthless to even try to use on a map. It'd be cool to be able to fly around, and it flies like a helicopter, so you can hover. But if it didn't just nose down, I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about, or if you saw my stream the other day, but uh, it needs some work. And
Gotcha.
yeah, I might put a couple airports in anyway, but that and the spraying it's a crop duster, but the spray width is the width of the plane. You need to have it fan out, you know.
Right.
You could change it so the boat pushes the barges. Yeah, something. Well, we'll work on. Yeah, that's one thing I think I know we can make happen if we can get the thing on a spline, you know.
Yeah, I don't see why not. It's all doable. If I have to I'll put wheels in, make them invisible, or tuck them inside the boat. That's not an issue. The wheel issue shouldn't be a problem.
Sounds cool. So I'm just coming down here to check out these mountains. Now that's a little bit better. We only went a little ways around the map, but I wanted to get an idea if that's going to look good. And they do look pretty good from a distance anyway.
Cool. I'll let you go back to streaming, and I'll hop back on after you're done here.
Sounds good. I'm going to take an hour break in like 10, 15 minutes for dinner, but I usually get back at like 20 minutes after and I'll talk to you then.
Sure, sounds good, man. I'll be watching your stream here.
Sounds good. Hey Thomas, how you doing? So, I'm just driving around and taking a look at some of the things that we brought in and seeing if we're going to use them. That's what I do. And if I like them. I can tell you right now from a distance, I love the looks of the mountains in with this map. Yeah, there's so many. The thing is, we've done uh, so many products that we can pretty much create anything, I think. Only thing I haven't researched is how do we make plastic? I have to do some plastics research. No, but we've got mining ores and everything that if we wanted it bad enough, we could bring it into this game. So I'm kind of liking the way that looks back there, except for I still think I need to turn these train tracks non-collisionable. Rubber tree. There's rubber tree. Yeah, plant some rubber trees. I'm just gonna drive down and see if I could see any of the seams that I made in my mountain range. They're pretty darn cool. They looked awful much smaller when we were in the editor, though, didn't they? I'll say that much. Yep, oil. So there's the thing is, we can make almost any product, and I really am. I have to. First of all, we're gonna bring in a few more crop types, and we've got to make them work. So one of the thoughts I had as well is if we can get the flour company to maybe make flour and dough, and who knows what else, we're gonna work that out. And I want to change up the bakery, so instead of wheat bread, oat bread, rye bread, we'll just have bread. Then we'll have rolls or something so we can use the seed on the rolls and we'll mix that stuff up. That doesn't look too bad. I'm thinking that side of the map is looking pretty good with those distances. It'll work. Definitely gives you something to look at in the distance as we drive around. And it kind of fits with the landscape. You got some darker dirt spots out there. Yeah, I am cool with that. What do you guys think? The 60. Oh yeah, Air 9 man. This is actually I took the Corn Belt 16x map and imported just the roads and the landscape and into my Pleasant Valley version 4 map and leveled a bunch of stuff and we're working the terrain around the roads and stuff. But yeah, it's Corn Belt. And when you guys ask me where I got it, I don't know. I got it by somebody either dropping a link for me so I could check it out, or they dropped it into my inbox. They save me, these guys around here. They always save me the trouble. So where mods originate, I often don't know. Yeah, I've seen the French fries, washed potatoes. There's lots of possibilities, but we are already running into massive amounts of types, so we're going to mix up what we have a little bit. But it's really, I have to chart out everything and make sure we use as many products on the map in other places as well. So we'll get there. I'm coming up here to check out this little house. I don't know if I'm going to use it. I don't know if this is the place. It really looks like it should be set up against a cliff back there if we do use it. So, like into the mountainside, possibly somewhere. Yep, Google Corn Belt Reloaded. I've seen many of the factories and the different things, but Uh, I am not looking at doing French fries and stuff with potatoes when we already have. First, yeah, definitely would need to build this into a mountainside and bring the landscape up around it. I think it would look better if we did something like that. And that's why I didn't yet because oh, we didn't do the mountain up there yet. So that's why it got a crummy edge. Multiple hotkeys from for factory menus would be nice, but I did not create the script, nor am I a script writer to be able to edit it. I don't know if I'm going to keep that one. It kind of looks washed out, the brick and stuff. Well, I'm going to keep looking for houses. That's for sure. I want to go check out that grass and see how it looks in here that we planted. Get a running start so I could get over my railroad track. I definitely love the silos though on the farm, the bigger silos, the new garage. That stuff's staying. Oh yeah, we got the milk tank, which did I? There it is. That will be able to store milk, and that's a pretty nice looking model as well. Yeah, if it's not all in the, that's it. I can't write do that script editing to make that happen, Delta. Uh, that would have to, and I don't even know what's possible. Some for that's beyond my skills. Make it that would be a lot of extra work to make a tabbed menu with that script the way Lewis script's written. I know that somebody wanted to do it for me. Go knock it out of the park. You'd have to do a lot of writing. You have to pretty much add another category, I think. Let's go down and check out that little grass spot and see what that looks like. Yeah, the aggravation silos are spot on perfect for this map. They're huge. I gotta watch all those little grass spots. Got to be filled in. Uh, they look really good. Definitely awesome silos. I like big stuff. So, but not only that, there's it's not only an issue though of the space, but conserving. I mean, you're on 16x, and I'm trying not to hold back design stuff. We got some. I want it when it's done to have the feel of the last. We'll have definitely bigger fields and stuff, but that's the grass texture. I don't know. It's different. I don't know what you guys think. I think I could do with it. I think it'll look all right in here. What do you guys think? Um, I don't know. I got so used to the other one, but hey, I think it'll work. Yeah. So it's a matter of getting the new products in, but we gotta make sure this thing runs. So adding a bunch of factories without reducing some of the overhead that other stuff takes and reworking things is going to just keep slowing it down. I mean, I already have so many extra barns and so many extra things that are going to be coming into this map that we gotta be careful. Let's go back over this way. Want to check out a couple things. As a matter of fact, you want to see my error log because I didn't put those scripts in? Error warning unknown materials. Uh, Failed to load tip on ground files because I changed them, but I didn't make them yet. Animated objects, XML errors. All this is going to come out. I just have there. That's it. I was just messing around and dropping things in and seeing what we got. You got a joker. You have a quotation or a question? Hey, here's that solar farm. Well, that's part of it. That's raised up off the ground. But I'm just checking out some of these things, see what they, how they appear. Obviously, with grass and stuff around these solar panels, it'll be a lot better looking. But yeah, they're pretty cool. Big solar area. Go for it. Ask away if I can answer it, and then that's what we're here. Ask your questions. You don't hold back, peeps. Ask, and you will see what we can do. I'm gonna head. I'm trying to figure out where I am. I'm trying to get over to where we put in that orchard and that uh, chicken area, just to get an idea of what they're gonna look like when we put them where they're gonna be, if we can get them working. There's no guarantees. In PV17 V3 CM meat, when I unload animals, don't unload. You need a special trailer that's included in the additional files in order to bring animals to that. So if you go to the downloads and look in the, I think we put it in the required files section, essential files for that map, and it has to be that trailer in order to unload into that trigger because Giant's trailers don't work. It's a modified trailer that will work in those triggers. So just go to the download section, browse to where the PV17 stuff is, look in the essential files. There should be two models of the trailer back in there, a smaller one and a larger one. And you should be all set. Never back down. Thank you for the host. And for those of you who are just joining us with Never Back Down, I take an hour break right about 2 minutes ago. Once I check this out for dinner, and we'll be come back streaming another 2 hours in an hour. So sorry for you guys that just jumped in, but come back in an hour, and I'll be back on the air with some more map editing. We just dropped a bunch of stuff in and just checking out to see what it looks like right now. The ground and everything needs to be redone, but in gates, the gates aren't going to work. They're not wired up yet, so we really can't get in there. But these trees appear to have it so that yeah, that's interesting too. Uh, the leaves will appear on them as the fruit is ready, which is kind of awesome. So if you fire this up, uh, it will, when the fruit's on the trees, then it comes off. So, and the same goes for Reliant Robin 93 with the host. Thank you so much, but I am at the end of this first 2 hour broadcast, taking a break so I can eat and stay alive, and coming back in an hour. So anybody that wants to come back in from those and watch 2 hours, we're going to just jump back in and start, keep working on the map a little bit and spreading it around and finish, yeah, see where we're going. Gonna jump off now though, because we're gonna talk. You heard Big Daddy jump in. I'm gonna talk to him a little bit after I eat about some of the things that we discussed here too. Yeah, so my behind doesn't get sore. I've done 4 hour broadcasts, but breaking it up, I'm trying to start early enough. And the thing is, everybody ate here an hour ago. So whenever I eat, I either am eating leftovers, fending for myself, or it's all cold already. So usually doesn't take me too long. But stay tuned. We'll be back I'm gonna set. It also makes it easier for me to break up these broadcasts into smaller segments for YouTube. So we'll be back in an hour, guys. Hope you come back. See you real soon.